Hey, y'all let me know what y'all think. With my hood up and my dreads out, do I look like the Black Kiba? Wrong anime? Yeah, we ain't here to talk about that anyway. What's good? It's your boy, the Black Hokage, aka TBH. And to be honest, internet, let me talk to y'all. I got a secret. Y'all listening? Y'all listening? Are y'all listening? Okay, look. Dang, okay. I kind of like Black Clover. It's gotten better. It's gotten better, y'all. It's gotten so much better that I've been following it week to week, and I thought, you know, you guys wanted to see more anime content on my channel, so I thought maybe I start doing weekly analysis on the different episodes. Just know that, keep in mind that I am the leader of the dubbed army. If you don't know what that means, I watch dubbed anime. If you're new to this channel, sometimes I watch subbed, but I prefer dubbed anime over subbed. I don't get into all the wars, but I do prefer dubbed, and the reason is Japanese people enjoy dubbed anime, so I want to enjoy an anime the same way that they do, which is dubbed. Think about it. So I guess we're starting with episode 14, which is, I was really looking forward to this one because all the last two episodes, episode 12 and 13, were a two-part situation, and those two episodes are really good. So I was really interested to see where they go with the show for episode 14. And episode 14, or page 14, it's called The Dungeon. And to be honest, this episode was disappointing. It wasn't bad, but it was average. It was after the whole events of what happened in 12 and 13, where Yuno had to fight the people that were trying to capture his village, Wizard King is like, yo, I got a mission. Which, by the way, can we just talk about the Wizard King for a second? Am I the only one that thinks he looks like Naruto? Naruto, whatever, however you put it. I apologize. Actually, you know what? I don't. That's how I talk. That's how I pronunciate shit. You better get over it, okay? Am I the only one that thinks the Wizard King looks like Naruto? Okay, so the episode starts off with him like, yo, I'm the Wizard King and I got a mission. And I know just the people. And because this is the Black Clover show, you know, this is all about Asta. So he's like, of course, he gives the mission to the Black Bulls, which is considered the worst of the Magic Knights. But for some reason, he thought that they were perfect for it. So what happens is the Wizard King, they'd find another dungeon, I guess, in the Black Clover Kingdom. And in this world, dungeons are like these magical places full of mana that have like treasures that you can find. But in exchange for those treasures, there's different type of traps and like beasts and monsters in there that could end up stopping you from getting what you want. And for some reason, the Wizard King decides to give it to the Black Bull. So there they are hanging out in their little hangout or whatever. You got the chick, she's sitting there drinking. She's drunk with her titties out. One of my favorite characters. Gotta love titties. What's the name? You got everybody just kind of doing their thing. They got to do with I love the one character with what's the little edgy makeup, the little emo MySpace 2005 makeup. It's all black. And then he just kind of talks you with, I love that guy. He's funny. I don't know his name, but I love that guy. One character I cannot stand, and can we just nip the tie of the bud in the Black Bulls? They always like to highlight this dude. I know it's supposed to be funny, but the dude that's always talking about his sister, he holds up a picture of his sister. He's hanging out while the leader of the Black Bulls is explaining the mission, and he's like, you guys better not be looking at my sister. And he pulls up a picture of his little like 5-year-old sister. And like in previous episodes, like they've hinted that he's like sexually attracted to her. And like, I know it's supposed to be funny, but I don't know. Am I the only one that doesn't find that shit funny? Like, not only is it like pedophilia, but it's incest. It's just fucking disgusting. I know the Black Bulls are supposed to be they're really supposed to be the black sheep, because they're like the different ones in the kingdom, but I don't understand how anybody accepts him. It'll be interesting to see how his character develops. Maybe he's one of the more powerful people on the Black Bulls. I don't know. I just know that he's a pedo and he's an incest lover. I don't think it's funny. It's fucking disgusting. Anyways, new dungeon discovered. The wizard picks Asta and the crew. Asta Noelle, aka the royalty chick that got kicked down to the Black Bulls. They go on a mission with, I forgot the other dude's name, but the yellow-haired dude, I think, or whatever. But it just ends up being Asta and Noelle. They're in the dungeon. They're like, oh, look, there's magic everywhere. This shit's fucking great. And what's the name? Like, at this point, like, right before they get into the dungeon, fucking old girl was, like, trying to fuck Asta or some shit like that. She accidentally tripped on him and started, like, humping him and shit and, like, ass raping him or something like that. I don't know. Like, you would have to look at that, like, a replay. But it was kind of like an anime. It was kind of an anime cliche where, like, the characters fall on each other. But I guess they mixed it up. Because this time she fell on him from behind, so I guess she was trying to hit it from the back or something like that, and then she starts like blushing, and she's like, I didn't do it on purpose and stuff like that. But yeah, when they get in the dungeon, another thing happens. Like, she starts blushing, and it's like, she's like, it's just me and Asta. I'm like, damn, she ass raped Asta. She could have did it magically. We don't even know. She could have did it magically, and he might have not even felt it. And then on top of that, she was blushing when they got in the dungeon. I don't know if like the mana was like taking over her vagina or something like that. And it started making her feel good about Asta or whatever, but it happened, man. So we got to watch out for that Noelle. She's a sneaky one. So they get into the dungeon. The dungeon, like, oh, the dungeon's huge. There's like sparkling shit everywhere. There's mana everywhere. And then they're walking around. They're exploring, trying to look for whatever their treasure they're trying to find. And Noelle's dumbass steps on a trap. Now, when I mean a trap, I'm not talking about she steps on, what is it? Was it Haiku? Was it Zabuza, the little boy, little tranny boy that Zabuza used to hang out with? I'm not talking about those type of traps. I'm not talking about like Tanya from Yojo Senki. I'm not talking about those type of traps. She steps on a booby trap, and I'm not talking about titties. And it's like this green energy. She steps on it, activates this trap, and this episode was, like I said, it was really average, but this was the most interesting part about the show. She steps on this trap, and this big flower vagina monster is summoned. I don't know where maybe it's because I have a dirty mind. I don't know. But y'all let me know in the comment section below. Did y'all think that when the monster came out, that was supposed to be a vagina monster or something like that? Like, it was like some type of sexual innuendo. The flower, it was really like a big blue Venus fly trap or whatever, that's how you call them. But it looked like a pussy with jaws. And she steps on the trap. The pussy attacks her, right? So the pussy attacks the pussy. She like, it ties her up in like some like vines or some stuff like that. And Asta's like, look out! You can't be touching my bitch like that because I love that girl. So Asta pulls out his big ass Buster sword like fucking Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. He's like, bitch, I got you. So he pulls out the sword, he charges in on the pussy, and you thought maybe he was gonna stick his sword right in the middle of the pussy, but you know, he wasn't man enough for that. He wasn't really ready. Asta's still a little bit young for that. He wasn't really ready. Instead, he tries to cut the vines. He cuts the vines, and he frees his homegirl, Noelle. She looks back, she's like, oh, Asta, he's so brave. My vagina juices is flowing. I can't believe you did that for me, daddy. And before she could even, like, react even further, the vagina monster attacks Asta, and then they both get tied up. Now they're both struggling in the air. They don't know what to do. I'm like, oh my god, this is the end of the show. This is episode 14. It's the end. I don't know what's gonna happen. And fucking the vagina monster is pulling Asta, and it's pulling Noelle closer and closer and closer. At this point, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm on the edge, boy. I'm on the edge, right? And pushing me to the edge. What's it? I'm on the edge of my seat, right? And right before, this is a disgusting part too. Right before they get sucked into the vagina, it shows in the core of the vagina monster, there's like this purple acidic acid, and there's like multiple skulls inside of it. So this wasn't like your typical vagina that's just gonna swallow you whole. It was an acidic vagina that had like battery acid in the middle of its clitoris, and multiple people have died. That's why they showed like the little skulls and the bowling juices and stuff like that. So Asta and Noelle are just screaming. They don't know what to do. They're inexperienced because they're black bulls. And out of nowhere, the plot armor comes in. That's when, plot twist, the leader of the Black Bulls, it cuts to the Black Bulls back in their hideout, and the leader of the Black Bulls reveals that, by the way, it's not just a mission for the Black Bulls, it was also a mission for the Gold Dawn Knights, or the Golden Dawn Knights, which is one of the more elite magic groups. That's the one that Asta's rival Yuno, aka Sasuke, got accepted into. So they appear out of nowhere. There's like this big magic attack. There's like a hailstorm of magic coming in on the vagina. Like, honestly, I'd never seen a vagina get penetrated so much in my life. And then like the monster just collapsed. And then out of nowhere, at the top of the tunnel, Asta looks up and he sees Yuno. And Yuno's there with his magic book, and he's like, I got you, my guy. You my guy. We're even now, little bitch. And like the best part about this scene was not the fact that Asta was saved, because I don't give a fuck about him. It was when Yuno saved him, his team, the Golden Dawn Knights, they were behind him. you had his mentor to the left, and then you had homegirl to the right. And maybe I'm crazy. I'm gonna make sure to put the image up on the screen. It looked like they was about to drop the hottest mixtape of 2018 with that pose, especially the mentor to the left of like he looked like he was ready to drop some bars, like some magical bars. If you catch it. You see what I did there? And then after that, like I said, Yuno's like, you owe me, Asta. And then Asta's like, Yuno, my guy, hey, nice to see you again. So turns out it's actually a collab mission between the Black Bulls and the Golden Dawn Knights. If I'm interested, I would say this episode was super average. It didn't really push the plot too much forward. Only like the last 2 minutes were pretty fun. I will say that I'm interested to see why did the Wizard King choose these two teams? Because if you know about the Black Bulls are like negative 70 something stars compared to the rest of the Knight groups, and then the Golden Dawn Knights, they're like the top group. So why did they put them together? Was the Wizard King trying to get Asta and Yuno to try to learn from one another or something like that? Was there something else going on here? And also, I'm kind of more curious to hear about these dungeons. What else do these dungeons have besides like these little treasures? And is that going to play a bigger role in the show? I think that'll be interesting to see what happens with it. One gripe that I did have with this episode, there was a lot of filler in this episode in the sense that it took almost 2 minutes, and I actually watched the clock. It was like 1 minute and 55 seconds before the episode started, and that's because and we got to stop this. Okay, we're on episode 14 on the dub. I think the sub is like on episode 17 at this point. We're a good chunk into the show, right? I'm tired of them starting off the beginning of every show explaining who the Wizard King is and the Black Clover Kingdom. Like, we don't need an overview. That was cool, like the first 5 episodes. We know the backstory of Black Clover and the Wizard King and how the Wizard King became to come when he fought the big-ass monster and shit like that. We don't need that. You're eating up too much time in the show. And then once that part was over, then it cuts into an old man hanging out in the forest. And at the time, you didn't really know what he found, but he starts screaming, and he's like, what's that? Obviously, it was the dungeon and the big vagina flytrap monster. It was the big pussy that he found, and he couldn't handle the pussy, so he started screaming. And then that's when the Wizard King sends them on the mission and stuff like that. But after he had found that pussy, that scene was only like 10 seconds. It cuts into the intro music. So the beginning of this episode, like the first 5 minutes was straight filler. And it felt like this episode went by like this because it was a lot of bullshit in the beginning. So I would like for them to, like, I know this is shonen. I know there's going to be filler. I know there's going to be, just come on, man. Let's cut down on that. We don't need that beginning part because it's making the episode shorter than what they want to be. And I want to see what happens because the show is starting to get really good. Overall, I say this episode 14, The Dungeon, was pretty average. If you're watching the sub, nobody cares. Please do not spoil it for the rest of those below. I mean, feel free to join the conversation. Let us know it doesn't get a little bit better. Don't get into specifics. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below on episode 14 of Black Clover, The Dungeon. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And if you are interested in watching Black Clover, just know that I watch this show on FunimationNow. If you need a link, there will be a link in the description box below to how you can get access to FunimationNow. If you use my code at checkout, the Black Hokage, you'll get a 2-week free trial on Funimation, and then after that 2-week trial ends, you'll get the first month for 99 cents. They got Black Clover, they got the latest Dragon Ball Super episodes, that Magnus Bride show I think is hot right now. They got a bunch of different anime. That's how I watch all my anime. I download the app, I beam it to my Chromecast. So yeah, use my code, the Black Hokage, at checkout. Get your free trial, check out Black Clover so you can join the conversation. Other than that, I see you guys next week on episode 15 for that analysis of the Black Clover. Next week's episode I think is going to be interesting, the way that 14 was just kind of a setup for episode 15. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Other than that, that's been me, the Black Hokage, aka TBH, the internet's #1 dubbed anime reviewer. I prefer dubbed over subbed, not because I hate subs. Sometimes I watch it, but I just prefer to watch my anime like the Japanese people do. Dubbed. I'm out.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you'll never miss another video. Also, consider pledging my Patreon. It helps keep the lights on. There's a link in the description box below. Peace.